my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and I am so happy to have you joining me today. In today's video, we're going to be doing part 1 of our Halloween decorating. I am so excited. Here's a little peek at what we're going to be decorating with today. I do have a Halloween haul that I'll have linked for you down below to get some more information about all of these items. And let's go ahead and get started. So of course, I am starting today here in my kitchen. My favorite place to decorate in my whole house is my hutch here in my kitchen. And I'm only going to be making some minor tweaks to the decor I put up for fall. So right now I'm removing that little autumn sign as well as the sweet little wooden bird. And I'm putting up that trick or treat sign that I got from Michael's, as well as a little black candle holder that I've had for years. I'm also removing the sweet little house and church salt and pepper shaker to add in this adorable striped jack-o'-lantern that I picked up at Target in the Target dollar section. I love these. I actually have 3 different versions of these jack-o'-lanterns. They do light up and I just think they're going to be adorable when we have our Halloween party. And then I'm also adding in a sweet little wooden jack-o'-lantern down here at the bottom. Another one I've had forever. And that's going to be all that we're adding here to the hutch. Just a couple little touches. And of course, we're going to leave in all of the orange. Over here in this sweet little vignette that I have, I'm going to be adding in another little jack-o'-lantern from the Target dollar spot. This one is just a traditional jack-o'-lantern, and again, it does light up. And I'm just adding it here on top of this towel. Now the towel is just to add in different color and layered texture, and I love the coziness that it brings. I'm also layering in this ghost tray that I picked up at Michael's right here behind this tray, and I think it looks absolutely adorable. Next up, we're going to be adding in my favorite Halloween find for this season, and that is these faux cookies. I cannot get over how adorable these are. They are just a plastic faux cookie that looks like they have adorable fondant all over them. I have completely fooled all of my children. They all have asked if they could eat one, and I suggested that they don't, so that they don't break a tooth. But I did pick these up at Home Goods, and I am in love with these. I just think they're so cute, and I'm putting them here in this cake stand that I picked up at IKEA, and I think that they're a perfect little addition to the kitchen. Moving to the other side of the kitchen, I'm adding in this little metal gift bag here. It is a candle holder that says Haunted Mansion on it. Got that at the Dollar Tree 100 years ago. And I'm also switching out my hand towel here for this adorable Boo hand towel that I picked up at Home Goods. Finally, here in this area on my island, I'm adding in this sweet little ghost that I found at TJ Maxx, and it holds the sponge, and I just thought it was so incredibly cute. I'm adding it onto this wooden tray, and I love how this turned out. Just a sweet little touch, and I can never say no to a cute ghost. Next up, we're going to work on my hood. Now, I went back and forth on whether or not I wanted to decorate my hood. I have considered putting different wreaths up here, but I like to keep it pretty simple. However, I felt like I needed another touch of Halloween here in the kitchen, and that's where these sweet little bats came in. I did purchase these on Amazon. They come with a ton of bats. They are a glossy plastic, and they come with little 3D stickers to help give them some elevation, and they're perforated a little bit so you can just fold them to make them 3D. And I just decided to add a few of them to the hood, and I am in love. My children are in love, and I just think this is so sweet. I cannot wait to add these to other parts of the house. Next up, we're going to work on this hanging tiered tray that I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I'm starting by adding in this really sweet black and white striped jack-o'-lantern, again from the Target dollar spot. And here on the bottom shelf, I am removing that copper pumpkin from the Dollar Tree to add in this sweet little wooden jack-o'-lantern sign that I picked up at Target. And I also found these adorable ghost tags. They are wooden. I thought they were so cute. I needed to find a way to add them into my decorations. So I decided to tie them to this little galvanized pitcher that I have. It's a little mini pitcher I purchased at Hobby Lobby. I did end up tying it on the outside of this pitcher. However, it does move. I do bring it to the inside because I just felt like it was hanging out and it was too much with the little towel, but I didn't want to remove the towel because I love the texture that it brings. So I did move it to the other side, and I just think it's absolutely adorable. Just adds such a sweet little touch to this area here in my dining room. Next up in the dining room, I am hanging this adorable bunting that I picked up at Home Goods. This is I think it's maybe burlap or wool. I think it's wool. And it's got jack-o'-lanterns and ghosts, and it's so cute and sweet. I have little clear command hooks that I stuck on my window trim a while back, maybe in the spring, and they hold this up now. However, it was a little bit long, so I needed to kind of fold it in on itself. The next area that we're going to work on today is my coffee bar. This is my second favorite area to decorate in my house, and I was so excited to bring in some Halloween touches. So first things first, I'm just removing a few of the fall items, and I'm bringing in these sweet little paper plates that I picked up at Home Goods. They're just a little Ouija board. I thought they were super cute. I'm also bringing in these sweet little bat toothpicks that I picked up at the Dollar Tree, and I put them there in a little creamer pitcher, and I think they're so very sweet. Next up, we're going to start working on the shelves. I'm starting by removing the fall decor that I have here on the shelf currently. And again, I'm not going to be doing a ton of decorating. I just wanted to switch out a few items, and I did end up just kind of putting these off to the side because I knew I'd want to pull out fall decor again when Halloween was over and before Thanksgiving. I'm starting off with this adorable tassel banner that I picked up at Target. It is a tassel banner that is these adorable little ghosts. It's so cute. I love the colors. I am a sucker for a tassel banner. I think I've talked about that in previous videos. I will always say yes to a tassel banner, like always. And the colors on this one were just so cute. And it did have little black wooden beads above each ghost. I could not pass this up, and it was really affordable. It was only $10 at Target. I just picked this up the other day, and I'm so glad I did. Again, I just hung it on some clear command hooks that I had already had up on the shiplap from a previous seasonal decoration. Next up, I'm adding in that cute little book stack from Michael's, along with this sweet wool ghost that I picked up at Home Goods. And then I was trying to figure out what I wanted to add for the third item. I brought in that ceramic ghost candle holder. I didn't feel like it was the right fit. Then I brought in this sweet little book. I didn't feel like that was the right fit. So then I decided to put the ghost down, and I topped it off with that little wicker pumpkin that I purchased at Target, and I felt like that was the final touch it needed. Moving on to the other side, I started off with that sweet book there. That is actually a box from Michael's. And then I also have that sweet cat mug that I purchased at Home Goods, I believe. And another one of those little wooden jack-o'-lanterns from the Dollar Tree from 100 years ago. I did also want to add in a little extra touch. So I brought in this honey dipper here from, I don't know where I got that, probably at a local farm stand. And I just added it into the mug there. For my mug section here next to my coffee maker, I started by pulling out the other mugs that I had, the fall mugs, and bringing in the Halloween mugs. So I have that one there that says boo, and then I have that sweet little ghost from Target. And I thought that this was, the right mix. However, I feel like I might need a black one on here. So I'm going to be on the hunt for a couple more Halloween mugs. And I did turn the other one around so you could see the orange inside to give it some color. And I love how this turned out. The final touch is a few of those sweet little napkins I picked up at TJ Maxx. And this little area is good to go. that, my friends, is it for part one of my Halloween Decorate With Me. I hope that you enjoyed decorating my kitchen, my coffee bar, and my dining room. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you aren't subscribed already, I'd love to have you subscribe and come back for more. I post new videos every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, my friends. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye. Hello my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany and I am so happy to have you joining me today. In today's video, we're going to be doing part two of my Halloween Decorate With Me. We're going to be decorating my living room as well as my entryway, and I am so excited to have you joining me. Right now, I'm just giving you a quick look at all of the goodies I have found this year. I decided that after 15 years, it was time to get some new items. So here's stuff that I had from the past. A couple of things in here we're going to hold on to and use again, but it was time to get a lot of some new items. And this house is much bigger than the house we had in Las Vegas, so lots more spaces to decorate. We're going to get started in my family room, and I'm just removing items from this buffet table that I purchased at Wayfair, and not Wayfair, I'm sorry, World Market. And I am getting started on the top here. So this little black tree I purchased in the dollar section at Target 100 years ago. In fact, I think it even had like little orange and black bell ornaments that went with it. And I've kept it all these years. I like it just for some color. I thought about going to Michael's and getting some new Halloween style florals, but these are perfectly fine. Lion is checking them out. He thought that they looked delicious and chewable, but as you saw there, I gave him the boot. I didn't want him to hurt his tummy by trying to eat these items. So got him off of the top of the buffet there, and I just added it into that galvanized tin. And then I had this sweet little copper jack-o'-lantern bucket. This I purchased in October of 2020, and I was staying with my in-laws at the time while our house was being built. So we didn't get to use it, but I am obsessed with it. It is so very pretty. I put a little pothos plant in there and then grabbed that sweet little wooden ghost that I picked up at Home Goods. The other side of the buffet here, I'm adding in that sweet ceramic ghost there that says trick or treat, also from Home Goods, and a little pumpkin jack-o'-lantern from the Dollar Tree. And then down here on the bottom, I'm bringing in another one of those metal jack-o'-lanterns. This also is from Home Goods. I purchased this a couple years ago. I love the scalloped edge on this, and I decided to bring in this really pretty Dracaena plant, and this was in the window in my dining room, and I just think it looks so cute. It looks like hair. I just thought it was really pretty, and so I added that there. And then I'm bringing in a pillow, so I decided to kind of just move things around. If you are new to my Decorate With Me videos, this is what I do. I put things in, I move them around, I move them again, I take them down. It's just kind of the name of the game. So I put in that Hey Boo pillow there, which is also from Home Goods, as well as that little pumpkin from the Dollar Tree 100 years ago. On the other side, I am putting in this really sweet little ghost pillow that I picked up at Walmart. I think it was $6.97. And then I have this boo sign. I don't remember where I got this. This I've had for probably the past 10 years. But I thought it was really cute and brought in some nice color. It is wood, so I did like that as well. Also just moving around that pothos in the back there. And I think we are almost done with the buffet. So next up, I'm going to pull in this pom-pom garland I picked up at Walmart. Now, I will say that this garland is really small. So when I picked it up, I just had the intention of kind of layering it in areas just to bring in some of the color. And I love a good pom-pom. You can't go wrong. I think it just adds a nice touch on anything. However, it is really small. So I thought, you know, it would be a little bit bigger than this. However, it's really, really small. So I'm kind of just tucking it into the drawers here on my buffet. And I decided just to layer it. I love to layer bunting like this. I just think it adds a really pretty touch. So we're going to get this situated and then we'll be able to move on. Down there on the bottom, you notice that's Luna. What's so funny is she was so interested in checking out the Dracaena plant. However, I've had it for, I don't know, the past 6 months, but it was in a new place. So she thought she would check it out. Luckily enough, my cats don't eat my plants, but they still like to sniff around and see what's going on. Next up, we're going to move to this little shelf here in my family room. I do have a video, excuse me, of Danny and I putting this up. We did this earlier this summer and I am in love with this wall. I cannot wait to decorate it for Christmas. Honestly, that's why we built it, so that we could hang our stockings here. But I love this space. So I decided to take a bunch of stuff down and then kind of pull it all down to clean it off. As I was taking things down, I realized it was pretty dusty. So I decided to take everything down and figured we could just start fresh with some new Halloween decor. So I'm just going to take everything down and I'm putting things in that little laundry basket because when the holidays are all said and done, I want to put things back up. But for now, I'm just going to give this a really good clean and then we'll get it all decked out for Halloween. To get started redecorating the shelf, I'm going to put the pothos plant up first. This is one of my propagated pothos, and I do have a video on my Instagram about how to propagate your plants to turn one into many. You have to check that out. You can follow me at Charlotte Grove Farmhouse on Instagram. But I'm putting up the green plant first. That's always where I start. And then we're going to go into adding in a little bit of height and adding in a little bit of the Halloween decor. So first things first, I want to bring in this little faux window. That's from the Target Dollar Spot last Christmas, I believe. And then I have that little house there from Hobby Lobby that I spray painted black, as well as that candlestick from TJ Maxx. I'm also realizing that my plant is a little bit floppy, so I just went out to my garage and grabbed a little bit of a bamboo stick and stuck it into my plant and just kind of draped it over it so that it would give it a little bit of height. But pothos plants are, trailers, so you're going to get some leaves that do trails. So now I'm just going to kind of mess around with some decor pieces that I knew I wanted over here, but I'm not exactly sure how and in what order. So I'm just going to kind of move things around a lot. I knew that I did want to hang my sweet little witch boots that I purchased at the Salem Witch Museum. I wanted to hang those here, so I figured I would kind of make like a whole little witch area. So I picked up this little broom from Michael's that says Boo. It's so cute, and it's got like a little plastic piece underneath that allows it to stand up on its own. And then I also picked up this little Hocus Pocus sign here from Walmart. I'm not super crazy about the color of the wood frame around the Hocus Pocus sign, but I didn't really feel like painting it. It is something I'm considering, but we'll leave it for now. And then I'm just kind of adding in a little bit more pieces, like little filler pieces. Wanted to bring in a little bit of color. It was a lot of black, but I was trying to keep it pretty neutral for the most part, just blacks and oranges and wood tones. And I think it turned out pretty good. I'm putting this little basket back up here. This is from Hobby Lobby. They do still have this basket. I see it there all the time. And then I'm bringing in these black roses that I purchased from, I don't know, maybe the 99-cent store like 100 years ago. I just popped a piece off and I tried to put it back on. It did not go back on, but it's really old, so there is that. But I just thought that they added a fun little Halloween element to this basket that I love so very much. And we're also going to hang those sweet little boots, like I said, that I got from the Salem Witch Museum here. I have been so excited to put these up since I bought them. I'm hanging them on the same peg that the basket is hanging on, so that they're kind of just layered on top of the basket, and I love how that turned out. Moving to the other side, again, I'm going to start with a green element. I definitely wanted some kind of plant. Those are faux eucalyptus from Michaels, and the vase is also from Michaels. And then I'm adding in a couple of little height pieces. So I've got that little chair there purchased from Michaels that I spray painted black, as well as that little house piece from the Target dollar spot many moons ago. And then I've got that little glass jack-o'-lantern from the Dollar Tree that I put on top of the chair. And then that wooden boo sign that does not stay there. I did realize as I was decorating, I have a lot of decorative items that say boo. And I think that's because I always am a sucker for things with a ghost. Like that's my number one go-to is ghosts. And you'll notice I have a lot of ghost items and ghosts say boo. So that's what you're gonna see, but I didn't want to put too many boo items right next to each other. So then I also have this sweet little piece here from the Target dollar spot. I'm putting in a cute little ghost that I got at the Dollar Tree a million years ago. It is like a little candle holder. You can put a candle in there. And then I'm also putting up this sign that I did just purchase this year from the Dollar Tree that says a spooky witch and her boo haunt here. Thought it was cute. Again, with the boo. It's the word of the day. So now I'm just kind of messing with everything and making sure that it all looks good and doesn't need any fluffing. And I am obsessed with how this shelf turned out. Next up, we're going to move into my family room, and my intention here is to put up a bunch of those same little plastic ghosts that I purchased from Amazon. I do have them linked in my Amazon storefront, and I'll try to link them for you down in the description box below. They were extremely affordable, and you get a ton of them. They also come with little raised like sticker pieces that you can use. However, I read in the comments that the stickers will peel off your paint. So I am not using those pieces, although it would have been so much faster. And I am just using some washi tape. And I keep kind of stepping back to look to make sure that it's looking all right. And if you notice underneath my sideboard, I do have a little buddy with me. That's Luna. She follows me everywhere. When I am filming, she's like my little buddy. It's either her or Charlie. They take turns. Charlie was sleeping this day, so it was on Luna. And I'm sorry that the camera keeps coming in and out, but it wasn't focusing on me for some reason the entire time. But I am obsessed with how this turned out. I just love the spooky feel that it gives when we're all snuggled up on the couch watching a movie. It just feels like Halloween. And it's such a short season and goes so fast. I love to have all these little touches, and my kids love these memories too. Halloween is definitely a major favorite here in our house. What about yours? Do you guys love Halloween? Next up, we're going to work on decorating the top of the sideboard. And this I, again, just kind of played around with. I did not go into decorating today with any real ideas of what I wanted, except for a couple of things. One being those little boots. I knew those were getting hung there. And the bats. I knew I wanted the bats. So other than that, I didn't really have an idea. It was kind of just me playing around and moving things around. So in this little corner over here, I'm bringing in that sweet ghost that I purchased at Home Goods. And I also brought in a little cauldron and put a little snake plant inside. I thought it kind of looked like smoke. It was fun. Little play on, a cauldron and smoke. And then I brought in that lantern there that is from Walmart, and it was in my guest room. And I put the little boo sign here. I thought that was really cute. Brought in some warmth, and I just kind of trailed my pothos around it, just to kind of make room for it. This pothos is big, but I love it. I love how it trails here, and I'm just picking off some dead pieces. And then finally, we're going to add in some bunting. So again, I think I've already told you I am a major sucker for bunting. And this is bunting I've had for a long time. So this I've probably had for like 5 or 6 years. And I think it's adorable. I think the paper bunting that you're going to see me put up first, I want to say I picked that up at Michael's a few years ago. May have come from the Target dollar spot. I can't remember. But I just like the 3D element that it has. Remember when pinwheels were like a really big thing, on your bunting? I don't know. It looks like something I could have made myself, but, with my Cricut, but I didn't. And then I'm also going to hang up some pom-pom bunting, and I'm also going to start putting up the pumpkin pom-poms. However, they don't stay. It just looked like a little too much. So I like to layer my bunting, but I don't like it to get too crazy busy. Moving over to where I have my Monstera plant and this vintage picture frame. I am just picking up that picture there that was from Michael's. I'll put it back for Thanksgiving. So a lot of these items are going to come back out. They're just going away for a little while. But I just wanted to give a little vacuum over here. This is where my cats have their scratching pad, and so I'm just kind of vacuuming that up. And then I'm going to bring over a pillow that I purchased in the Target dollar spot. And I have this sweet little vintage chair that I picked up at an antique shop, and I love it. I originally bought it thinking I'd put a plant on it, but it's where I put my Alexa. And so I had put it on the floor, but it just looked too messy. So then I put it again on the floor, tried to tuck it in, but you could see it from everywhere in the house, and I didn't like that. So I did end up putting it right back on the chair and just put it underneath the pillow, and it's been working perfectly fine. That pillow is from the Target dollar spot, and it says, "Let's cuddle and watch scary movies," and I love it. Moving into my front entry, we're going to start by, again, putting up some more of these bats. I put up a good amount and, throughout my kitchen, my family room, and the entryway, and I still have a ton left. Again, I used washi tape just to make sure I didn't pull any paint off the walls. Like I said, I read that in the reviews. I don't know if it's true. I haven't tried it. They're probably fine for some. My paint is really fragile. It definitely chips at, you know, just bumping into it. So I didn't want to risk it. So we're just using some rolled up washi tape, and that seemed to do the job. Once I got the bats up, I decided I wanted to kind of neutralize the palette, so I'm just taking off a lot of the fall items, and we're gonna redo the tiered tray a little bit, and we're just gonna try to bring in some spooky elements. So I have this really cool tree candle holder that I've had forever. I couldn't even tell you where I got it. And I also brought in a little bit of green eucalyptus. Again, I like to have green. I just think it kind of anchors the space. And so I brought that in. That's faux eucalyptus and that little pitcher I got at Walmart. And then the Autumn Harvest sign is from the Target Dollar Spot. And this Too Cute to Spook sign, I believe is from Michael's. It's definitely an older piece. And then this little jack-o'-lantern candy bowl here, I believe I got at Ross 100 years ago. So now we're moving on to the tiered tray. I'm starting off by removing anything that is, you know, too fall related. The only thing I'm not going to remove is the little pumpkin pie banner, and that's because I just don't want to have to reapply it. I am going to put it back up, so it's just going to stay there for now. Ideally, you know, I would put something else, but I don't have anything else. I like the color that it brings, and I'm just going to leave it. So I added in that little ghost, which is from Home Goods, and that little cauldron, which is from Walmart, along with those straws from Walmart. And I'm also bringing in this cute little boo sign. I did pick up some items from Amazon. I did get this little tiered tray set. That's one of the pieces from it. I'll have it linked for you down below. It was really affordable. And then I'm also bringing in this little wooden tag. I found this in the dollar section at Target. It's a cute little tag that has a pumpkin on it. I'm just tying the ribbon just to give it some color. It's hard to see the pumpkin from, you know, where this angle is, but it's there. It's cute. And I like the wood tone that it brings. And then I'm putting in that little pumpkin from the Dollar Tree and this tiny little faux plant from Michael's. Moving to the top, again, I'm just starting by removing stuff that is, you know, fall related. And I have my Hoya plant there. I have that little wood tabletop piece from Hobby Lobby. And then I've got that little pitcher from IKEA. And I removed the yellow flowers and decided to put a few of those straws in there for color. They fell in really far, so then I put in a little piece of paper towel and then put the things on top of it just to give it some height. And then I started to play with putting pieces back in. So I had this little 31 from that little tiered tray kit that I bought on Amazon. I love that little 31. I think it's cute. And then I also brought in this cupcake stand from Hobby Lobby. I wanted to have a place to add more height. And again, I'm just kind of moving things around. I like this wooden piece, even though it's not necessary. I like that it brings, you know, a wood warm element to the tray. So I didn't want to take it off. However, I just needed it to kind of move. So I put it in the back. And then I just played with the Hoya plant until I was able to put the 31 back. I love that little 31. It's so cute. And it is all wooden, which I love. And then I'm also adding in this fuzzy pumpkin from the Target Dollar Spot onto that little tray. And I'm just pushing things around to get everything to fit. And then I had that little ghost tag also from the Target Dollar Spot. So I just tossed that in there. Put a little piece of washi tape underneath this pumpkin to get it to stick, and that tiered tray is done. Moving on to this little area right by my front door where we hang our keys, I had this sweet little sign from Michael's that says, "Bring your own broom." And then we're going back over to the peg rails, and I'm adding in this cute little ghost blanket that I picked up at Home Goods, and that wraps it up for all of my Halloween decor in the rest of my house. That's it for this Decorate With Me, my friends. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on part 2 of my Halloween Decorate With Me. Make sure you come back next week for my front porch and outside decorating. I am beyond excited for that video, and I know you guys are going to love it. If you have any questions about any of the items I showed today, just leave the questions down in the comments below. I'll make sure to get back to you. I'll try to link everything I can that's from Amazon, either in my Amazon storefront or in the description box below. And make sure that you subscribe and come back for more. I post new videos every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and I would love to have you come back and join me again if you enjoyed this video. Until the next one, my friends, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you very soon. Take care. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tiffany, and I am so happy to have you joining me today. In today's video, we're going to be decorating the outside of our home for Halloween. Now, I know this isn't everybody's cup of tea, but we are big Halloween fans here at my house. We're actually hosting our first annual Halloween party in our house. We used to throw Halloween parties all the time in our house back in Las Vegas, so we are so very excited. And today we're going to be decking the halls for Halloween. So if you're here for it, let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting off with these giant spiders that I picked up on Amazon. They were really affordable. I think they were about $13 each. I'll have them linked for you down below. I did end up picking up 3 of these, and my intention was to have them crawling up my home. So I enlisted my husband to be brave and climb up on very tall ladders and maybe even out a window or two to get these on the house, and we are both so thankful we did because it turned out really, really cool. So we're going to get started with those. We're using these command hooks, which are actually made for lights, which are perfect. We wanted to try them out, see how they did. We're wiping down our vinyl siding with a little bit of alcohol to make sure that the command strips would stick, and these worked out really, really well. So while I am doing this decorating today, I wanted to take some time to talk to you a little bit about our fun ghost stories. So I had mentioned this in a previous video, and if this is not your jam, if you are not down for some ghost story time, I totally understand. You can completely skip this video or watch it on mute. But I promised a large amount of you that I would share this, so I definitely want to hold up my end of the bargain. So if you've been around for a while and have followed since my planner channel over at Cardboard Couture, you might have heard some of this already, but we have had 2 little ghost friends that have been a part of our family for literally almost as long as Danny and I have been together. When our daughter was just shy of a year old, we had gone to a local consignment store in Las Vegas to do a little bit of Christmas shopping because I fully believe in recycling toys. And we had purchased a standing baby toy that you stand at and play, and brought it home, cleaned it up with some bleach, did all of that, and gave it to her for Christmas. And she absolutely loved it. It was one of her favorite toys. And it was something that we kept downstairs in our living room. And it had this little plastic book in the middle of the table that had one plastic page that you could turn side to side. If you turned it one direction, then the table, every button made a different sound. And if you turned it the other way, every button on the table said a word or a letter or a shape. And the only way to make the table make a certain sound was to turn the page of that little plastic book. And it all started by that toy making the noise on its own. I was upstairs folding laundry. My husband was upstairs with me giving our daughter a bath. I heard it make the noise. I was completely shocked. Brought it up to him thinking maybe it's propped up downstairs. Maybe the dog knocked it over. There's got to be a reason why it's making that noise. So we rushed downstairs to find that the table was not in any way tampered with that you could tell. And Danny was really brave and asked it to make the noise again, and it did. Now, I know this sounds crazy, you guys. I know it does, but I promise you this is what happened. We were completely spooked. We put the table out to the curb for the trash to pick it up. However, the trash man did not pick it up. Of course not, right? And so it ended up back in our garage. And we were moving into Danny's parents' house while our first house was being built, because we have actually stayed with them twice while having our homes built. So we moved in with them for about 6 months while our first house was being built. And shockingly, that toy ended up following us to their house. So it kind of lived in their garage for a little while we stayed there. And then we moved into our new build. It followed us there, just kind of got moved from one place to another, and it was in the garage. It never left. And we moved into our new house. Everything was okay. Nothing was really weird until our second child was born, my oldest son. And his room was in the corner of the house in the front, and it had windows on 2 walls, and it would make a lot of noise on windy days. And we were living in Las Vegas, which is a valley, and it's very windy. So there are lots of nights where it was super duper windy and he would not sleep, and Danny would go in and lay on the floor to keep him company. And one night he had fallen asleep on the floor in Aiden's room, and underneath that floor, it was our garage. And he woke up in the middle of the night to the sound of laughing, and he distinctly remembers 2 very distinct voices that were laughing, and it sounded like playing in the garage. So he shot up and ran downstairs because he thought for sure there was somebody playing in the garage downstairs, and he needed to get in there before, anything was stolen. Maybe he left the garage door open. And I'm sure you have already figured out by the time he got down there was nobody in there. It was closed. It was silent. Nothing was happening, but he definitely heard the sound of laughter and playing. And from that point on, it was basically like the light switch had been turned on. We would hear all kinds of walking upstairs. We would hear what sounded like, somebody walking up the stairs in the middle of the night. We would sleep with our door open and the kiddos' door would be closed, and it would sound like there was giggling in the loft, which was like our open playroom in between our bedroom and the kiddos' bedroom across the hall. And it sounded like there were people playing in there. The way that our stairs were situated in our Las Vegas house, you could kind of see the banister from the corner of your eye. And there were so many times where it looked like somebody was sitting on the stairs. It was just very obvious that there were two other little friends playing at our house all the time. One night, our fire alarm had gone off. Our dog had started barking before the fire alarm had gone off. We had a German Shepherd, and she was sitting at the door, in the doorway, barking into the playroom. And all of a sudden, the fire alarm went off. And of course, there was no fire, but something, had triggered that. By the time Danny got up and ran into the playroom, I was, getting up out of the bed, the fire alarm had stopped. Now, granted, that could have been, some crazy glitch. Don't get me wrong. However, it was just a little bit weird. And then as, Michaela got older and she started to talk, she would tell us about her two invisible friends that she would play with. And there's a lot of debate over what those friends' names were. One she named Wallet, and the other one we're trying to remember what the name is. We can't remember, but it wasn't until years later, in fact, maybe just a few years ago, that we realized that she had two imaginary friends, and we were 100% sure that there were two ghost friends living with us. Really quickly, before I continue with my story, these little spiders that I got here, they're not really little, but these spiders here are from Walmart. I just recently picked those up. And I had also picked up that spider web that you saw us put up on the house. That was from Amazon, and I'll link it for you down below. So back to my story. We also started to hear, we had a giraffe. I don't know if any of you ever had or purchased for someone the little, I think it's a play, it was like a plush giraffe that was soft, and it played music, and it also made like a heartbeat sound, and you could put it in the crib. And we had one of those when my middle son Ronan was born, and eventually we stopped using it. He got tired of it, but we did keep it, and we had it in the loft. It was just a toy. We had taken all the batteries out, but on two very specific occasions, we had woken up to that toy singing a song in our playroom. And it just kept going from there. Eventually, we started kind of just talking back to them and asking them to be quiet at night, that we were trying to sleep. And it got to a point where we even heard some whispering at the door, whispering for Daddy. It would say, Daddy. And we would wake up every single time and, thinking that there was a child in the doorway, and there wasn't. I'm sorry if it gave anybody chills, that part. I just gave myself chills just remembering that. It was so vivid and absolutely just mind-blowing and terrifying. The crazy part, though, is that we never really felt scared of these friends. They always, it was very obvious that they were children, and they always felt friendly and not like they were there for anything, malicious. They never did anything crazy. They never bothered our children. They definitely just felt like part of the family at that point. Now, fast forward 11 years, we lived in our Las Vegas house for 11 years, and it was time to start packing up and preparing to leave to move to the East Coast. And we started getting some pretty serious activity in the house again. We had some doors slam. It was pretty obvious that, our little friends were upset that we were leaving. And to be honest with you, they had not done a whole lot of activity for a long time. Really quickly, these little spiders that I'm adding here, these are from Walmart, and they had little sticky things that I had attached, and I'm just putting them across the door here. So back to our moving. So I think it was maybe a day or two before we were officially leaving, and my son Aiden and I were working in the playroom to take the TV mount off the wall. We were working on that one and then the TV mount that was in our master bedroom. And we were using both a regular screwdriver and a drill, and he had gone to work in the master bedroom. And it sounded like he was struggling with the drill. And so I told him, just put the drill down. Don't do the drill anymore. Just use, a regular hand screwdriver. And so we went back to work, and all of a sudden I hear that drill again. And I was like, Aiden, don't use the drill. You're going to strip the screw. And he was like, I'm not using it. It's right beside you. And I looked down on the floor. There it was on the floor. So clearly he was not using it. And that night we were sitting downstairs at the dining room table eating dinner, kind of just talking about all the crazy activity that had been going on. And we were like, just kind of discussing what was going to happen. And all of a sudden we heard a door slam, and we all just looked at each other and were like, listen, you are welcome to come with us. If you want to come to the East Coast, travel across the country, you're welcome to come. And that was kind of the end of that conversation, the end of that. We ended up leaving the next day or the day after to head on our week-long journey across the country. And, everything was, okay while we were traveling and staying in hotels. Now, 99% of the things that we owned were in a storage, one of those portable storage units that, was just living in the front yard at my in-laws while we had our home built, and we stayed at their house. And we figured, if anything had followed us, it definitely was, living in the pod and not gonna, we weren't gonna have any activity while we were living at my in-laws, we thought for sure. And we were wrong. We were definitely wrong. We would talk about it all the time with my in-laws because they were very familiar with our little friends. And one night, after talking about them, Danny and I were sleeping, and we heard a really loud thud from out in the hallway. And we opened up the door, and my father-in-law was standing out there, and we opened up the pantry door where we heard the noise, and a box of cereal, like one of the plastic containers that had cereal in it, had fallen off of the shelf. However, there was no way for it to just fall off the shelf. It would have had to have been pulled to the front of the shelf and then fallen over. It just wouldn't just fall over. Another night, we heard a door downstairs slam and nobody was home. Another night, we heard the vacuum turn on. There were a couple of times where the lights had been turned on in the garage all by themselves. So they definitely let us know that they had come with us. And then we wondered when we moved into our house if they would follow us here. And at first, when we first moved in, there was no activity. However, we had kind of discussed it one night. I think I actually was telling my cousin Susan about all their activity. And then, of course, just how it always happens, whenever we're talking about them the next day or later that day or later that week, there'll be some kind of activity just to remind us that they're still around. And that was when there started to be some activity in my pantry. So we have a motion sensor light in the pantry, and it was randomly turning on. In fact, I actually have a video of it randomly turning on. In fact, in one of my Sunday reset videos, the pantry light just turns on while I think I'm cleaning the refrigerator. And that happened for about a week. It happened every day, if not multiple times a day, to the point where I thought maybe it was malfunctioning. So my husband checked it out. It was fine. And then most recently, We have heard what sounds like somebody coming down the stairs while we're sitting on the couch watching TV. Sounds like somebody's in the kitchen while we're watching TV. And then, of course, over this last week, I have been telling Danny how I'm going to tell this story in a video. And so we've been talking a lot about them. And there has been a lot more activity again with the lights. And just tonight, I'm not even joking, just tonight, I was cleaning up the kitchen after dinner. I went into my hallway to get into the cleaning closet to go get our counter spray, and I heard a very gentle knock on the front door. It was about 4 knocks, but it was very obviously a knock on the front door. And I was so spooked by it because we do have a doorbell, and I did not hear our storm door open. And it's very loud. You can hear when that opens, but I did not hear it open, which meant it didn't open. How was somebody knocking on the door without opening that? That I had to go get Danny and have him open the door and just check because I was completely spooked. And there was nothing out there. And our motion sensor lights in the front of our house had not been triggered. So there wasn't, somebody knocking on the door or something walking around. It was just very spooky. I'm getting chills, like reliving it. It just happened like 20 minutes ago. So, definitely put me in the right mood when I came in here to do this voiceover. So if you are spooked out by stuff like this, I apologize, but that is my crazy family ghost story. We have had lots of conversations about, would we want to know who it is? Do we want to know their story? And truth be told, they're just part of the family at this point, and I'm too terrified of learning about something terrible about them, something horrible happening to them that I don't want to know. We just love them like they're our own. They don't mean any harm. We've never felt that they did. And it's fun stories to tell every year around this time. So hopefully you enjoyed our fun ghost story. Really quickly, just to kind of talk about what's up here on our porch. Those black cloths that you see there are from the Dollar Tree, and the witch hats are from Amazon, and they did come with the wire to hang them as well. So I'll have those linked for you down below. But this is going to be the last part of our decorating. No, it's not. I lied to you. We have one more thing that we're going to add, but hopefully you guys enjoyed that story. It's pretty crazy that Michaela is now going to be 16 in February, and we're still having all of this crazy activity. So who knows, maybe one day we'll have a medium come and, talk to us about, what is with us and who these spirits are. And maybe one day we'll, try to have them released from, earth, and why they're not in heaven or why they're not, on the other side. I don't know, but they definitely have attached themselves to us, and this is where we are. So the final thing we're adding here is this really adorable jack-o'-lantern, which is from Walmart, and we love it. We put it here in our flower bed. This was an empty spot in the flower bed, and we have both decided that we are not going to put anything here. This is where we will always have some kind of decorative item for the holidays. So I love this jack-o'-lantern. So cute and really affordable. It's only $18. So I'll try to find it and link it for you if I can. And this really is the last item that we're adding to the front yard. And I love how it all turned out. It's really, really sweet and exactly what I imagined when I purchased the different items. And I cannot wait for our Halloween party. You'll have to stay tuned to see what we do with the inside and all the fun goodies that we make. And can't wait to share all of that with you. And that, my friend, brings us to the end of this Halloween Decorate With Me. I hope you had fun watching us put these fun decorations on the outside of our house. I am obsessed with how this turned out. I'm ready for Halloween. I'm ready for our Halloween party, and my kids are loving it. My neighbors have given us great compliments, and it's just been a lot of fun. I am living for the holidays in our new home, creating all of these fun new memories with my kiddos, and just being able to enjoy all of these different new memories with them has been so much fun. And I can't believe in, a few short weeks, we're going to be hosting our very first holiday here in this home. Never hosted a holiday before, so we are so very excited. If you enjoyed this video, I would love for you to consider giving it a big thumbs up. And if you would like to come back for more, please make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button to be notified every time I post a new video. I post new videos every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, and there's always something, for everybody. I do a little bit of everything: cooking, cleaning, planning, you name it, all things mom inspired. So until the next one, my friends, have a great day. Friends, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to a different type of Sunday reset today. Today is actually Friday. It's Friday at 5:10. It's a little bit late. I just got home from work, just changed out of my work clothes, and we are going to be doing some party prepping tonight. So tomorrow is our first annual Halloween party in our new home. So I just got home from the grocery store. I stopped by the Dollar Tree to grab some party items I'm going to show you, but I figured I would take you along on all the party prep, from decorating to, the food. I'm gonna be making a really great charcuterie board, and I just wanna take you along on all of that stuff. And I was gonna do it anyway, and I wasn't gonna have any other time to film a Sunday reset because my cleaning is not gonna happen until Sunday, and I did not have a video pre-filmed. So hopefully this works. There's gonna be a little bit of cooking, a little bit of cleaning, well, a lot of cleaning and a whole lot of decorating for our party, and I'll try to squeeze in some video footage of our time together. So hopefully you enjoy this video. We've got a lot on our plate, so let's get started. Okay, so here's a look at the list that I have for right now. So these are the things that I need to clean. I gotta clean the bathrooms down here and upstairs, clean the floors. I gotta do some dusting. It's not in this order, but I want to clean off the couch, give it a good vacuum. I need to wipe down the cabinets because they're getting really dirty. I need to clean off the porch, clean the outside of the fridge, and then also the pantry door. It's covered in fingerprints. For today, I want to bake the cupcakes and make the sausage dip. That's for tonight. Tonight is Friday. And then I also want to make the ghost cookies, lots of decorating, and then I need to find the serving dishes, bring up the coolers, and we've got to get ice. Ice is not going to happen tonight. That'll happen tomorrow, but I just put it on the list. So that's what we're going to get started with, and it's really not that terrible. Let me show you what I picked up at the grocery store. All right, so just a couple of quick things. So I did pick up crescent rolls. These are for some mummy hot dogs, some little pigs in a blanket. I also grabbed sausage for the Rotel sausage dip. I have shown that. That is in my 4th of July video, so if you're looking for a really good recipe, check that out. I've got Nutter Butters here because we're gonna make some ghosts, so we're gonna dip them in the white chocolate, and then I have the tiny little mini chocolate chips here to do the little eyeballs. I also have some cake mix here that we're gonna make the cupcakes. Now, I love a good homemade cupcake or cake with homemade chocolate buttercream. It's absolutely delicious, but I just don't have the time or energy for that right now, so we're going old school. And then all these goodies over here are for the charcuterie board. So I've got pretzel sticks, I've got the tiny little gherkins, what are these called? Pickles, thank you. Oh my gosh. These are mine and Danny's absolute favorite cracker. They're phenomenal if you've never tried them. I also just got regular club crackers, some olive oil and herb crackers. We've got, my mouth is watering. We have olives, delicious looking olives for the charcuterie board. We also have salami, and then we also have this other salami here. I'm gonna try to do some of those really cute like salami roses. I've got some fig spread. I did buy this not just for the charcuterie board, but also because this is what I like to put on my pizza. Hello. So this is really good on crackers. I also grabbed this blueberry vanilla goat cheese. I love goat cheese, and this, I liked the color, and I love the little touch of sweetness on a charcuterie board. So I also have this garlic and fine herb cheese spread right here. This is delicious. If it wants to, there we go. Yummy, yummy, yummy. We've got dried apricots as well as some blackberries. So this will all go on the charcuterie board tomorrow. We're not gonna do any of that tonight. I'll put away what I need to. Let's see what we have in the fridge for tomorrow as well. So we've got our hot dogs for the mummies. So we have those. I did put in my food order, and they gave me maple sausage for my rotel dip, which is absolutely not gonna fly. So we're gonna need to return that or use it for breakfast, I'm not sure. And then I'm also gonna make the Irish nachos, so the potato nachos. So I got sour cream, all the goodies for that. I hope I got, yes, they delivered a bunch of scallions, so that'll be perfect. And then I did pick up some of this On the Border Cantina salsa. This stuff is phenomenal. It tastes just like something you would get at a restaurant. So good. So if you're looking for something easy and you don't want to make your own, that's the way to go. Sorry about the fridge. Yeah. So I also have my neighbors bringing a bunch of stuff as well, so it's not just gonna be me, but that's what I'm contributing to the party. So that is enough jabber. I think we've talked enough. Let's just go ahead and get going. I think I'm gonna get the cupcakes into the oven first so that those can just be, you know, cooking, get all the food put away that I can, get the kitchen cleaned up, and then we'll get started on like the heavy cleaning, because I'm gonna try to get as much done tonight as I possibly can so that I don't have to miss a bunch of soccer tomorrow. If I do, it is what it is. We'll make it work, but got a lot to get done. Okay, to get us started, we're gonna make some room in the refrigerator for the things that need to get put away. In my last Sunday reset, you saw me clean out the fridge, and we've been doing a pretty good job keeping it cleaned out, I will say. My family has been doing a really good job of keeping things pretty organized when they're in here. My kids do all the cleanup after dinner every night, so sometimes things get put away, you know, in a way that I wouldn't do it, but that's no big deal. It's easy to move things around, and I'm pretty particular about things, so it's not their fault that, you know, they're putting it in a different place. So I'm just getting myself organized here, getting things put away, trying to figure out what it is that I can get done tonight. And I like to do a lot of multitasking. That is how I work. I like things going, you know, multiple things at once. So I'm going to get started with the cupcakes. Now, as I've mentioned before, I love to do things from scratch. However, when I am in a time crunch or trying to get a lot of things done, I will resort to using pre-made items, which is what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to get the cupcakes in the oven. While those are going, we will get our ghost cookies made, and then we're going to get some cleaning done. I'm sure that I'll probably get asked this question, so I'm going to go ahead and answer it now. But what I'm using to scoop the cake batter into my cupcake liners was something I found, I think it was at Hobby Lobby 100 years ago, may have been at Michael's, I actually don't remember. And you know what, to be honest with you, I haven't looked to see if they still have it. So, but it was this little cupcake scoop. It's about 1/4 of a cup, I would say. But it had like a little cupcake topper as well. And what it does is it allows for you to have even cupcakes. Now, what I will say is my cupcakes still don't come out even because I end up like scooping more and filling in, you know, the cupcakes. The box tells you to fill your liner 3/4 of the way, but sometimes that makes them a little extra puffy. But using that little scoop there is really helpful to get them to be at least all similar sizes. So we're going to get started on our Nutter Butter Ghost cookies. So I'm taking some white candy melts and I am melting these down, and this is what I'll be dipping the cookies in. So I was going to dip them in white chocolate. However, I forgot that I had leftover white candy melt from the 4th of July. So when I was in my baking cabinet grabbing the cupcake liners, I'm so sorry, I found the white candy melt, and that's what I'm going to be using. So I started off doing this the difficult way. I was, kind of dipping it and using the spatula to get the chocolate or the candy melt, onto the cookie. And then I realized that was just taking too much time. So I ended up just kind of dipping them, and that worked out pretty well. So I'm using miniature chocolate chips for the eyes. These are a lot of fun. Don't have these at a party if you have anybody coming that has a peanut allergy. You don't want the kiddos to feel tempted to grab one. These are definitely not allergy safe. But if there's nobody with, any peanut allergies, these are a great little addition. My husband loves them because he is a huge Nutter Butter fan, and I just think they're really cute. Once you're done with your candy melt, make sure that you get it tossed. It's pretty hard to clean once it is cooled and solid again. And my cupcakes are done, so I'm going to let those cool. And next up, we're going to move on to some cleaning. So like I had said before, my goal was to get as much of the house cleaned as possible tonight so that the next day I could focus on decorating and cooking. I had a lot of things that I wanted to cook and to have prepared, and we've hosted a lot of parties. I know how long like party setup can take, and so it was really important to me that I just try to get as much done as I could. It was a Friday night. It was busy in my house. Danny was currently at soccer practice with Ryan, and he was just about to get home, and then my daughter was going to be going to her football game, so he was going to be taking her to that. And as you can see, I'm just having full-blown conversations with my family while I am working. So like I've told you before, this is typically what's happening in my house in the background. There's just always people around. We're always chatting. We're always hanging out. So just assume that if you see me ever laughing or smiling or chatting, it's because there's somebody in the background that I'm talking to. So I do have this video pretty sped up for today. That's not typically my style. We typically do things a little bit slower. However, if I didn't speed things up, this video would be like 3 hours long. There was a lot of footage and a lot of moving and shaking and a lot going on. So I just wanted to make sure that I kept it, doable when it came to watching, and yet I was still able to give you some good quality content. So please forgive how quick it is, but I didn't want this video to be too long while I took you along on crossing off all the things on the list. One thing that I desperately needed to get done was wiping off my cabinets. Now, I did just recently do this right before I decorated for Halloween, or maybe it was for fall. However, we live here and we use this kitchen 1,700 times a day, and so I needed to wipe down the cabinets and the walls. There were just a lot of areas that had gotten really, really dirty and covered in fingerprints, kind of like my refrigerator here that is always getting beat up. So I just wanted to make sure I wiped that down. I even had my kiddos help me wipe down the walls along the stairs and everything, just to get that stuff done, because it really, really needed it. And I don't, always wait just until, once a month or so to do that. I try to do it more often. Next up, we're going to work on getting the powder room cleaned up and decorated for Halloween for the party. It definitely was pretty good. There was not a whole lot that needed to be done. Just a little wipe down, a good scrub of the toilet, as well as a little bit of decorating, and it will be good to go. This was the bathroom that everybody was going to be using, and I wanted to make sure that it was nice and clean for all of our guests. I found these adorable Halloween towels at Target in the dollar section. So decided to use them. I decided to layer them both because they were both so cute and I liked the color that it added. And then I also pulled in some of the Halloween decor that I had left over to put here on the shelves. And I added a few of the little bats to the mirror for a final touch. Next up, I needed to take some time cleaning off my island pennant lights. This is something that was long overdue. I needed to do this. I actually meant to do it before my in-laws' 50th anniversary party, but I completely spaced it. It's hard to remember to do them because we're pretty short, so I don't even really notice like how much this needs to be done until I look up there. And our plan was to hang some decor here above the island since this would be like the buffet. And when I looked up there, I was like, oh my gosh, those have to be cleaned. I was supposed to do that. And then I got kind of embarrassed thinking, oh man, my family came and they probably thought this was terrible. And, I felt really bad, but honestly, it's really not that big of a deal. So I just used glass cleaner on the outside and then I took a duster to do the inside. While I had the duster out, I dusted off the gooseneck lamps that I have over in the coffee bar area. I'm going to get that cleaned up. And then we're going to do a little bit of prep work over here. This is where I plan to have the dessert tiered tray as well as a really yummy punch for the kiddos. And I bought this really cool skull drink dispenser at Walmart this year. It was only $18 too. It was such a find. And it's really pretty. It's like a like rainbowy kind of glass. I know there's a word and it starts with an H, but I can't think of it. So it's holographic. There we go. I was going to say hallucinogen. That is definitely not it, y'all. But anyway, it was really, really pretty. So you'll see later on in the video what I end up adding to it to give it a really cool look. So I also had picked up a bunch of these black drop cloths from the Dollar Tree that I'm going to be using kind of like a tablecloth, but really it's just for, fun decoration and texture. But at the same time, it's good for, bringing in an element of protection for your furniture that isn't like super plasticky or cheap looking. So that's what we're adding there. I also picked up a couple of fun little decor pieces from the Dollar Tree that I'm adding here to some doors along the entryway, and just going to bring in a little bit of fun decoration. And that's going to be it for the night before the party. I was so tired. I decided that was enough. I needed to put up my feet. It had been a long day. So we're now on to the next day. It is now Saturday morning and I'm just getting some things going. This was actually Saturday late morning. I had been busting my bum all morning. I got up around 5, got, dishes done from the night before. I was doing a ton of laundry, just kind of getting things cleaned up. I had my kids doing their bathroom upstairs, cleaning their rooms, vacuuming off the stairs, vacuuming the upstairs. I had the robot vacuum going, if you saw that. We were just in full clean mode and I was feeling really good. So wanted to get the vacuum dusted off. That's not it. Getting the couch cleaned off. Also cleaned off the fan like I needed to do. That was long overdue. And dusted off my faux fiddle leaf fig. Just doing a lot of dusting. I had my daughter dust all my plants for me. That was really helpful. And now she's going to help me get up some decor above the island here. So I had a vision to hang some witch hats here in the center of the island, and she came to help me bring that to life. We just used little command hooks up on my ceiling, just little tiny ones. And then we have a sweet little Happy Halloween sign from Michael's. The hats are from Amazon. I do wish I'd gotten ones that came with the little candle. I wish that we had more of that, but I wish I had like a little bit of a light to it, but this turned out really, really cute. My husband was at a soccer game, so he was not home to help. So I employed my teenage daughter, and she was incredibly helpful. So we're going to get these things up, and I am so happy with the way it turned out. Just wait till you see how cute it all looks at the end. And now we're going to be cooking while cleaning as well. So like I mentioned earlier in the video, I like to have as many things going at once as I can. So like I said, I had a ton of laundry going, and now I was going to get started on some of the other food items while still cleaning. So I'm getting started with sausage dip. Now I've shown this in a previous video. I think it was back in my 4th of July video. This is a very simple dip. It's just sausage, rotel, and cream cheese. I'll have that video linked for you down below if you're looking for some fun appetizers. I'm also putting down my stools here at the island while that's cooking. I had them up so that the vacuum could work, and then I also had Griffin, my 8-year-old son. He helped me wipe down the cabinets there along the island, so he was very, very helpful. So like I mentioned, for this dip, it's just sausage. I used 2 packages, so 2 pounds of sausage, 2 packages of cream cheese, and then I used 2 cans of rotel. I did actually end up adding in a 3rd can of rotel there, so I just didn't show it, but I did end up with 3 cans of rotel. And now we're going to work on the cupcakes. So I know that this video is really sped up, and I apologize, but I had like over 3 hours of footage. So in order to get, everything in a timely video that wasn't like ridiculously long, I had to speed things up. So apologize for how sped up things are, but it was necessary. So we're going to go ahead and get these frosted. I'm just using a chocolate frosting here from the grocery store. And then we're going to decorate some with sprinkles. We're going to leave some blank, and then we're going to get these put on the tiered tray. They turned out so delicious. I used the triple chocolate super moist cake, and it was so incredibly good. I think it was Duncan Hines, might have been Betty Crocker. I can't remember, but I think whatever is the red box. I can't remember. I'm so sorry, but it was really, really good. And what I did the night before, I think you might have noticed, was I covered my cupcakes with some plastic wrap. And so they were still a little bit warm when I covered them with the plastic wrap, which allowed for them to hold on to the moisture. And so the next day they were just really, really moist. So if you notice there on my island, there's a lot of like little ring marks from the bottom of the cupcakes, and that's because that's how much moisture they had. They were so very good and delicious and moist. They just fell apart. So Anyway, absolutely delicious. I would highly recommend them, and they turned out really, really cute. I got the sprinkles and the cupcake toppers from Michael's, so if you're on the hunt for something for your cupcakes, I would highly recommend those, and you could probably find them at super discount right now.
You might be the one that truly got me. I feel it too. You might be the one that truly got me. I feel it too. I feel it too. You might be the one that truly got me.
Next up, we're going to work on our little mummies. So I'm using hot dogs, all beef hot dogs. I'm cutting them open and draining out the juice. And then I'm going to use a pizza cutter here with our croissants and slice just little strings, if you will, of the croissants. So this is a little bit time consuming. I'm not going to lie here, being sped up, it looks like it's not that big of a deal, but it really did take a long time, and they're not the easiest. One thing I will say that I would do in the future, that I forgot to do. I have made these before. I've actually made them twice before, but I forgot was to dry off your hot dog with a paper towel before trying to wrap the croissant around, because they don't stick. And so it can be really tricky and time consuming. So I'm just going to wrap these around. What I ended up doing was cooking them. I did bake them, and then I reheated them right before the party. So just bake them at whatever it says on the package. I think it's 350. I baked them for, I think, 15 minutes. And then I popped them back in the oven at 300 for like another 5 or 6 minutes right before the party started, just to reheat them and warm them all the way through. I did make a handful of them without the strings, like just regular pigs in a blanket, just for the sake of, adults. Maybe they didn't want to eat one with the mummies. And also just because they were taking so much time. But they did turn out really cute, and they were delicious. So really happy with the way those turned out. We're going to go ahead and get some things crossed off the list. I had a separate list there at the bottom for things my kiddos were working on. They were working as well. And now we're going to start working on our charcuterie tray, not to be confused with a charcuterie tray. I'm just using my cutting board here to do this tray. I have that really cute little ghost there. That is a stoneware ghost that I picked up at Michael's. And then I have that little cauldron right there for some jam. I wanted something else with color, some other kind of vessel. And I'm starting off by making a salami rose. So I'm just using a wine glass. And what you do is you just layer your salami around in a circle, and it creates this really pretty rose. Mine, for some reason, did not want to stay together. So as you see right there, it just kind of blossomed and opened up. So once I got some Triscuits on there, I do end up fixing it. It just needed to be redone. But I was like, man, I spent all that time getting it going. But I just kind of layered them on top of each other a little bit more so that it held them together. But this is an incredibly easy way to add like a little bit of sophistication to your charcuterie board. It just makes it look really nice. I will say people were afraid to eat it because they felt bad about the rose, but I was like, just eat it. It's there to be eaten. Even though it looks really pretty, it's meant to be enjoyed as well. Now, when it comes to making a charcuterie board, what I would suggest is doing a little bit of salty, a little bit of sweet, a little bit of crunch, and a little bit of chewy. So it offers a little bit of something for everybody. Everybody's snacking choices are different. I like a little crunch, a little salt, and a little sweet all in one. So just offering a little bit of everything is ideal. So there really is no wrong or right way. It's just about, what you like to do and, what you like to snack on. So for me, the crunch is the crackers and the pretzels. The sweet is both these dried apricots that I'm adding here, as well as the fig jam that I end up putting in the cauldron. There's a little bit of sweetness to this goat cheese that I'm using here. And the pickles are also sweet. And then we've also got salty from all of the different salamis and the cheese. And we also have chewy in our apricots, and as well as the salami does have a little bit of a chew to it. So just gives everybody what they might be looking for, options for what they enjoy, if it's salt, sweet, crunchy, or chewy. So also going to use this other tray that I have here, the ghost tray. I picked this up at Michael's. It does match that other little bowl that I had. I am going to make another salami rose for this tray, and we're going to add on, some other cheeses and goodies and snacks for this tray as well. So charcuterie boards are just a great way to snack when you're kind of standing around and chatting or playing games or watching a movie. They're just a really fun way to snack, and things just look really pretty. So that's what we're going to do here. I will say this combination of these garlic and herb crackers and this garlic and herb cheese was hands down phenomenal. Like, this was such a great combination with a little bit of the fig spread on a cracker. Oh my gosh, it was so very good. I did also dice up some cheddar cheese to add to the charcuterie boards as well. And I did add in these marinated olives. So everything was absolutely delicious, and it was very well enjoyed. I'm also going to add more of these drop cloths here to my island, again, to both offer protection to my countertops, as well as add in some fun decorative elements and some texture. And it ended up working out really well. It looked really cool. I did use some cordless fairy lights that I picked up on Amazon to just kind of weave those through the area as well. I don't think I have that on camera though. And that just added some color. I kept the lights really low for the party, and that was really enjoyable. So I grabbed this little brie dish, this little pumpkin, and I added the salsa here right before the party. We do add in the chips into the bowls. I'm also using these copper buckets here for some forks that I put on either side of the island for people to enjoy. And now we're going to make the punch. So I brought over my ice, which we had a very short power outage during a storm last week, and some of my ice melted. So I have to work on getting all of that out of my tray because it's all bunched up there. But for this punch, this is an incredibly simple, easy punch, and you can do it to any color that matches, the holiday or the event that you're doing. But you just do basically half Hawaiian punch and half lemon lime soda. And then I also added in some of those little fun eyeballs there. Those are from the Dollar Tree, and they're just ping pong balls. So that was fun to have them floating, but I just stirred this up, got everything, in here, and it was really, really yummy. And then a little fun decorative item as well as delicious. The kids all loved it. Those cups were color changing. Those are from Walmart, and I'm really happy with that cute little drink holder that I now have. So looks really cool. And like I said, you can buy any colored Hawaiian punch or Kool-Aid to match, whatever holiday you're doing. And it's just a fun way to give the kids something else to enjoy, something they don't normally have. So now we're just going to put out some last minute touches, and it's almost time for me to go get in my costume. We had a holiday playlist playing in the background. Amazon has some really great choices, and it was time to make some new memories in our new house. I was so very excited. And here's how everything turned out. It was time to go get changed. People were going to start arriving within the next half an hour, and we were so excited. We had a really great time. I hope that you enjoyed this video and enjoyed coming along with me as I prepared for our first annual Halloween party in our new home. If you are interested in seeing how we ended up looking at the party, make sure you're following me over on Instagram at Charlotte Grove Farmhouse, and you can see how we dressed up and see the fun costume Danny and I had together. Until the next one, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some fun inspiration, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you next time. Bye, friends.